The quicker you can be humble and actually delete your ego from your interactions, the way you think, the decisions you make, you will go so much further and so much faster when you are able to accept that what you think or what you think you know is rarely ever actually the right thing. For a lot of young males, and I've spoken to literally thousands of them in my business for the past 5 years personally, not just through content, literally on phone calls, in DMs, voice messages, interactions, and I promise you it is up there with one of the greatest things that I've ever learned, and that is the way in which the psychology of the human brain works. And yes, I've spoken to an enormous amount of older people as well, but it's the young males between the age of 18 and 24 that are the hardest to actually get through to, because they are that fucking stubborn and that much in their own world that they actually aren't able to get themselves out of this ego world where they actually are able to take advice and listen. And the faster you can find that time frame between the time you hear advice and then the time you choose to listen to it as opposed to rebelling against it or arguing, the quicker you will proceed in whatever the fuck it is you want to do. It is the biggest cheat code. And I know I'm repeating myself here, but I used to be the worst at this. Anytime someone would tell me something, I would fucking argue with them. Oh, but you did this. Oh, but you did that. No, listen to the person who's trying to teach you something because they're trying to help you. When somebody's talking to you, whether it be your mum, your dad, whether it be someone who's way better than you at something that you want to get good at, there is a reason why they are telling you this, whether you're asking them a question and it's the advice you don't want to hear. Don't take advice instantly the wrong way or go into a decision or when you're listening with a mindset that's already made up. And the quicker you can be humble with the way you interact, because sometimes it actually is hard to take advice that's blunt, triggering, and just straight out facts. It's shit you don't want to hear, and it's sometimes shit that you can't actually understand yet. Sometimes you'll get advice from people who are bigger and better and more experienced at the thing that you want to get good at. And what their advice might be would be not what you expect. And your initial reaction is, nah, fuck them, they're wrong. But you have to remember that they've most likely done 10,000 more reps than you at the thing you want to get good at. And if that's the case, you should probably listen to them. Now, if you've noticed, I've said at the thing you want to get good at. If you're getting advice from people who are not good at the thing that you want to get good at, or are not successful, or are poor, or are in a position that you don't want to be in your life at their age, then don't listen to them. But if it's something that you want to get good at, if it's something that they're in and they have a good expertise and a good level of success, then probably listen to them. Because there's more chance that they know more than you about the thing that you want to get good at if they're already way more progressed than you. So back to the point, how do you actually action this? What do you do to get better at this? Well, essentially all you have to do is the next time somebody tells you something that you don't agree with, instead of arguing with them, instead of saying, nah, you're wrong, because there's no such thing as right or wrong in most cases. A lot of subjectivity exists in the world, opinions. And everyone's opinion is different. That doesn't mean everyone's opinion's shit. Opinions are like arseholes, everyone has them. But ultimately, don't just fucking tell someone they're an idiot if they say something you don't want to hear. Don't argue with them. Don't go back and forth fucking triggered because they said something you didn't want to hear. Listen, and if you feel triggered, or if you feel like you want to fight back, or you don't agree with what they're saying, just pause, reply in a way that's sensible, that's calm. If you don't want to reply straight away, that's also fine. Because we have a thing called our thinking brain and our feeling brain. Our feeling brain is where we have our emotions. If someone was to fucking ram me up the ass right now while I'm driving, I'm going to be pretty pissed off, right? I'm driving in normal speed traffic, doing 80 kilometers an hour on the Monash freeway. Got a GoPro, car holder, whatever, got a microphone on. I'm sitting here driving. If someone was to hammer me up the ass right now, I have every right to be fucking angry at them because they've just hammered my car, my beautiful fucking 2009 Honda Civic that's worth probably 4,000 Australian dollars, and they've hammered me up the ass. Like, yeah, cool, my insurance is going to cover it, whatever. But they could have injured me. What the fuck are you doing? My feeling brain is going to be on. what the fuck are you doing, cunt? Like, go and get a fucking pole out of my back and just hammer the guy. Like, that's what someone would do in the world. That's your feeling brain acting. But if your thinking brain actually comes in first, your thinking brain is your reasoning, your logic, the thing that makes literal common sense. It makes the most sense. You can weigh up the decision. Upside, should I get angry at this guy? What's the upside of getting angry at him? Not much. So should I do that? No. What is the downside to getting angry at him? Well, I don't know. Maybe he pulls out a knife and fucking hammers me with his knife. Or if I hammer him with a pole, then I'm going to probably go to jail. So downside pretty high, upside not much. Okay, logical decision, thinking brain, do not get angry at the bloke. That's an example of how you need to act in situations, and that is an extreme situation. But these exact situations and these exact thoughts need to go through your head when you are putting yourself in a situation. And I've gone off on a little bit of a tangent away from the actual core topic of this conversation, which is deleting your ego. But it kind of links in, because if your ego wants to react to the conversation because your feeling brain wants to fight with the bloke who's saying things that you don't want to hear, then you're going to react with your feeling brain, and then you're going to say shit that doesn't actually make sense when you go back and look at it tomorrow, and you realize how much of an idiot you acted like because you were acting with your feeling brain. So instead of doing all that, have this shorter time span between the time you realize those feelings and identify them, and then try and act with your thinking brain, or just don't act with the feeling brain and then come back and act with the thinking brain and respond later. Because the moment you are able to do this, I promise you your whole life will change, because no longer will you be looking to always be right, you'll just be always looking to learn. The feedback loop between when that happens is game over for you, because all of a sudden you can just grab the best bits of things that you hear from people and apply them to your own life really fast, and apply them to your own goals, and apply them to your own whatever it is. But if you're always looking to be right, if you're always looking to fight, to debate, you're just going to go around in circles spending unnecessary energy on shit that actually doesn't have a positive outcome. What do you win, or what do you gain by being right? What do you lose by being wrong? Nothing. It's just your ego. And you can't fucking transact with your ego in the world. No one says, hey man, how big's your dick? I'll pay you like $500 because you got a big dick. Or your ego is fucking massive. You're a sick cunt. I'm going to pay you way more now. No. No one can transact with their egos. So don't fucking have an ego, and just be humble and look to learn and listen to people and iterate and drop those feedback loops so fucking small down so that you can be in a position where you hear something, identify that you are triggered, and then act on it later with your thinking brain, or reflect and ask yourself why you're triggered when someone gives you advice that you don't want to hear. Instead of going, fuck you, ask yourself, hang on, why do I feel triggered by that? Maybe it's true what he's saying. Maybe he wants to help me. Oh, yeah, he's actually right. Maybe I should listen to him. Cool, I'm going to ask him questions now. I'm not going to argue with him. Instead of arguing, be an asker. Don't be an arguer. Arguing gets you nowhere. Debating gets you nowhere. You just go around in circles. You don't win anything. Your dick doesn't get any bigger. You don't get paid more. You just waste your time. So it's a weird topic, but it's something I see a lot. And not that I just see it a lot. I fucking did it for 10 years. I was the most stubborn kid. 18, 19, 20. Just had to be right. Debate about everything. Argue. Waste of fucking time. Just learn. Just learn. Make your goal to learn. And do everything possible to learn. Because the more you fucking learn, the more power you have in the game. The more knowledge you gain in the game, the more powerful you become. The more skill you learn in the game, the more skill you gain in the game, the more powerful you become. And the more experience you gain by doing reps with skill and more knowledge, the more powerful you get in the game. And all you need to do is just stack those three things. Knowledge, skill, experience. And then you add a decade of that, and with the mindset of trying to learn, as opposed to the mindset of thinking you know everything, it's just a different world. Because the person who thinks they know everything already can't learn more, because they know everything. But the person who doesn't know anything and identifies that they know nothing, because they literally go through life thinking they know nothing, like I do. I literally think I know nothing. I obviously know I know a little bit, but I'm always looking to learn more because I've accepted that I'll never know everything. So if you're always looking to learn more, you can't ever stop learning. And if you can't ever stop learning, there's a fucking high chance that you're going to keep learning. So it's literally a mindset. And when you have a closed-mindedness, like to what you think you know about a topic, Neil deGrasse Tyson says something really, really powerful. He says, one of the greatest challenges in life is knowing enough about a topic to think you're right, but not knowing enough about the topic to know that you're wrong. That might not be the exact thing, but if you think of it like that, when you think you know a lot, that's when you are the most vulnerable because your confidence is high. There's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a graph. It's a relationship on the y-axis between your confidence, how much you think you know, and your competence, how much you actually know. And a lot of people are at something called the peak of Mount Stupid. It's obviously a triggering term. Whoever made it up is just taking the piss out of these people, but it's fully true because it's so fucking accurate. When you are confident and you're not competent, you literally look like an idiot. And that's what you look like when you argue with people who already know way more than you and are already way better at the thing than you. And if you spend your time arguing, you're literally at the peak of Mount Stupid, where that person is way, way down the line of competence. They're way more skilled than you. They're way more knowledgeable than you. They have way more experience than you. And you're arguing with them and you look like a fucking idiot because you have no skill, no competence, and no knowledge and experience, and you're trying to fucking prove that you do because you're high confidence. And the moment you think you know a lot, change it straight away. Go back to being humble and be like, I know nothing. Yes, smell the roses if you get better at the game. Amazing, do that. But just know that, especially if you're like 21, 18, 19, 22, even in your 30s like myself, just have a fucking humble idea on what's going on and always look to learn more. If you look to learn more, it is the biggest cheat code in the game. Drop the ego, accept you know nothing, and look to learn more. Like, do that. And I promise you, it's the one of the biggest cheat codes in life. Anyway, these rants I'm going to keep doing. If you want me to discuss anything, please drop a comment. I've built a loyal audience. If you're watching this at the time of filming, I have 105 subscribers. Started my YouTube channel 1 month ago. I currently run a business which is a 7-figure business in Australia which teaches match betting. We have 3 directors. I'm one of them. Started it back in 2020. We have 20 team members. That is my core thing, right? That's what I do full time, right? I made $300,000 off match betting through my 20s, set up my life. Now we teach this to Australians, as well as trying to change 1 million lives personally with my personal brand by making people challenge themselves to think differently about money, about life, about the habits that they do. All these things, that's my personal brand. That's what you're watching here. I'm challenging you to change your life for the better because you deserve a better life if you put in the work. And my goal is to get young men between the age of 16 to 25 to set their lives up as soon as possible so that they don't have to go through a life of shit and be in financial prison for the rest of their life, or a slave to substances and fucking fat and unhealthy lifestyles and things like that. If you nail the core things, especially around how your brain thinks, that's the core focus. How you think is going to be the game changer here. And I want to endeavor to share my learnings, mistakes, experiences through my enormous amount of failures through business and side hustles and everything else that I've learned along the way. And just to make it clear, in case anyone thinks I have an arrogant way in which I speak, which I cop a lot of hate for on social media, I don't think I'm going to get that on YouTube, because these are more raw and you can learn about me and my personality a little bit more. I want to help as many people as possible. And for the record, I don't know anywhere near everything, and I never will. But if you want somewhat of a successful life by the time you get to 32 at my age, I can probably help you do that. And that's my aim. So follow along if you want, subscribe. But yeah, just ask me some questions. Ask me what you want me to cover. Let me know where you're from as well. If you're from fucking USA, tell me, because I was getting a lot of my content trending in the USA the other week. If you're from Australia, let me know. Tell me what brought you here. Tell me what you want to see more of, and I'll try and get it done for you. See you next time. Cheers.